Good morning. Welcome to Creative Living Fellowship pre-service meditation. We are so happy that you're with us this morning to meditate. My name is Rhonda Emmerich, and I am a licensed practitioner with Creative Living Fellowship. Thank you for being here with me for the next 20 minutes while we meditate. Let's get comfortable in our seats. We can close our eyes and take a nice, deep breath, releasing that breath. We allow our body to relax. And one more deep breath. And we relax, starting with the very tips of our toes. And we allow that relaxation to move on up our body, just coming up from the very tips of our toes, moving all the way up our body, up to the very tops of our head. We feel relaxation just enter our bodies as we open our hearts really, really wide. We open our minds really, really wide. We focus this time on love. We focus this time on gratitude. Taking one more deep breath. Releasing that breath. We release the tension in our bodies. We relax our bodies even more. Open our minds even wider. Open our hearts even wider. And taking a deep breath again. And we rest in the silence. And with the sound of the chimes, we open our eyes and bring our awareness back to this space, becoming aware of the sights and the sounds around us, becoming aware of the space right here and now as we open our hearts even wider, our minds even wider, as we prepare for the service that will be starting in just a few moments. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Namaste.
Good morning, and welcome to the Creative Living Fellowship online Sunday service. Please join us in our opening song, Use Me.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I'm saying is, command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Creative Living Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sherry F. McCreary. I'm the Senior Minister here at Creative Living Fellowship, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here. We are an independent religious science church, and we welcome all paths that lead to truth. Our deepest intention here is to be a community of love, of care, of connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and the practices of the science of mind. We have two practitioners who are holding the high watch for us today. What that means is that they're sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, just holding a space for the perfect unfolding of this time that we spend here today. Those practitioners are Carrie Sherman and Jeannie Sovereigns, and we thank them so very much for their service here today. I would also like to thank, as usual, our Sunday service team that we couldn't do this service without. And of course, that would be Nicole Jordan, who is our Sunday service director. And she and Deborah Covington serve as our AV team. And today on tech support, we have Reverend Mary Jane Hyde. Thank you all for your service here. And of course, we have Reverend Jorge Suarez, who is always sort of in the background riding shotgun for everything that needs to be supported. He supports us in that, and we appreciate him so much. He's our staff minister here at Creative Living Fellowship. So thank you, Reverend Jorge, also. Many thanks to Rhonda Emmerich, our practitioner who led us in the beautiful meditation service this morning. We really appreciate your service here today also, Rhonda. So let's take a deep breath together. Yeah, our musical inspiration today is favorite friend Adam Smith. He'll be with us just a little bit later. We look forward to having Adam back whenever he can be back here with us today. So this month, February, we've been talking about, this is Black History Month, and I've been recognizing Black people who have made contributions to society, to American society, in some way or another throughout this time. And so today I'd like to recognize Dr. O.C. Smith. Dr. O.C. Lee Smith Jr., better known as O.C. Smith, was an American entertainer, humanitarian, and religious scholar. He is well known for his recording of the song Little Green Apples, which was a #2 on the Billboard charts in 1968, selling over 1 million records. And in 1969, he won a Grammy Award for this song. It was the Song of the Year. He also traveled and sang with Count Basie and many others during that time. But throughout those years, O.C. Smith was always searching for something more. In 1980, he and his wife, Bobby, attended a Science of Mind service at the Wilshire Eagle Theater in Los Angeles. And although they both were raised in traditional Christianity, they realized that the Science of Mind reflected what they had felt in their hearts for years, what they had always known, but didn't know how they knew it. So after much research, O.C. knew that he wanted to spend the rest of his life spreading the word that he had always known within himself. In 1985, he completed his religious studies and became a minister. And he opened the City of Angels Church of Religious Science in Los Angeles. And that church grew by thousands over the years. He and his wife also established the City of Angels Children's Charities and Scholarship Foundation to promote their interest in the spiritual and educational development of young people. The City of Angels Foundation has helped and continues to help hundreds of young people graduate from colleges and universities throughout the country. One fun fact is that one of our members, Reverend Fred Marrero, was ordained by O.C. Smith at the City of Angels, and he served as a minister there for quite a while. He's now here with us here in Phoenix. So remember, O.C. Smith, Little Green Apples, he was also a religious science minister, so he was a religious science pioneer also. And so we honor and recognize him today during Black History Month. Let's take a breath together again. Nicole's going to bring us the announcements, and following the announcements, there will be a brief gong wash. And after the gong wash, there will be a few moments of silence. Then practitioner Monica Zickas will bring us our reading and our evocation. But right now, here's Nicole with the announcements.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning to give you today's announcements, especially this first announcement, because it means we get a day off. That's right, our office is closed this Monday in recognition of President's Day. Just give me 1 second, I have to do one thing, okay. But you can still join us for midday meditation. Meditation is a great mindfulness practice that helps us get comfortable with silence. And as we master that still, silent space, we open ourselves up to God. So join us for midday meditation to start or support your meditation practice. Midday meditation is at noon, Monday through Friday. We also have a 20-minute pre-service meditation on Sundays at 9:35 a.m. Join us for any of these meditations through our Facebook and YouTube live streams or in Zoom. And speaking of spiritual practices that are still happening on Monday, join Reverend Jorge every Monday evening and dive deep into the heart of practicing science of mind principles. Say yes to this weekly invitation to apply Sunday messages and lessons to your day-to-day life. Using the practices of contemplation, prayer, and introspection, open up to see beyond your boundaries and self-interest and transform your consciousness. And this month in particular, he is focusing on Dr. Ernest Holmes' Sermon by the Sea. It's very, very special. So make sure you join this Monday. You can participate in Monday practice with Reverend Jorge through our Facebook and YouTube live streams at 6:30 p.m. Get your community care and connection on with your CLF family and Reverend Sherry every Tuesday as she hosts a Zoom meeting at 6:30 p.m. This week, Reverend Sherry will be leading Conscious Conversation. And if you would like to suggest a conversation topic or activity, please send her an email to connect@creativelivingfellowship.com. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Well, Foundations for Successful Living with facilitator Rochelle McCreary starts this week. So there she is. I just found her. Here's Rochelle to tell us more about it.
Hello and good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. I am so thrilled. This is the week that Foundations for Successful Living begins. So look, if you are really desiring to have a greater feeling of community, if you're going through some physical challenges or some money challenges or just pandemonium challenges right now, this is the course for you, because we are going to deep dive into the 10 core concepts of religious science, of science of mind, and not only understand what they are and how they work, but how to apply them to the things we're dealing with right now. So this course will be spiritual and practical, and we have a couple of bonuses. There will be the Art of Powerful Prayer retreat happening it's a half-day retreat happening on sometime in April. I don't have the date right in front of me. And there will be the Unleash Your Big, Bold Vision kickoff. That's how we're going to kick off the course, to really anchor in the vision that you have for your life. Because one thing we know with Science of Mind, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible, and it's never too late. So I encourage you, if you want to walk through this time of really building your best life with a group of like-minded spiritual seekers, if you want some coaching and some feedback around how to apply these principles to your life, and if you just want to be in a group of loving individuals where you can share, let your hair down, and really change together and walk through this together, I encourage you to enroll in this course. So we will start this Thursday. You can click the link that is on the Facebook page or in the chat right now to get yourself enrolled and scheduled. And this is all happening online. I am super excited about this, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Thank you, Rochelle. And I know that I'm so excited about this class. It's going to be amazing. So I really hope to see you there. The Ernest Holmes book study starts back up on March 5th. This group will be reading Living Without Fear and meeting weeklies on Saturday to discuss, grow, and deepen in connection. The Ernest Holmes book study is a drop-in group, so get your copy of Living Without Fear and read through the first 3 chapters, and then join us on Saturday, March 5th from 10 a.m. to noon. Remember, you can use your smartphone to text to give and make your contributions to CLF. Simply text the amount you would like to give to 602-610-1868. If it's your first time donating by text, you'll be sent a link to set up your account. And after that, it's as easy as texting the amount you would like to tithe to 602-610-1868. Our Sunday prayer room is available to you after service today. So get your prayer power up with a practitioner by heading on over to Zoom after service. Prayer room participants are transferred into a private breakout room for a confidential session with one of our licensed practitioners. So there's no need to walk around with a heavy heart. Get your prayer today. And there is no fellowship today as we're having our community visioning. So join Reverend Sherry and a large group of us as she leads us in a community visioning at 11:30 a.m. Creative Living Fellowship is a divine idea in the mind of God, and that idea is seeking to be revealed to and expressed through each of us in the CLF community as we continue to expand and move forward. When we engage in the sacred practice of visioning together, we open up to make ourselves available to catch God's idea or vision for Creative Living Fellowship, and we develop a greater sense of community, our role in it, and our connection to the whole. You are invited and encouraged to be a part of this community visioning to learn how God wants to show up through us as Creative Living Fellowship. And the links for all of these activities and events can be found on our website under events, under our Facebook events, or in your weekly newsletter. That's it for announcements. It is now time to move on to our gong wash, followed by a moment of silence.
Today's reading is entitled Strength to be Free. It's an excerpt from For the Inward Journey by Howard Thurman. Give me the strength to be free. The thought of being free comes upon us sometimes with such power that under its impact, we lose the meaning that the thought implies. Often, being free means to be where we are not at the moment, to be relieved of a particular set of chores or responsibilities that are bearing heavily upon minds, to be surrounded by a careless rapture with no reminders of costs of any kind, to be on the open road with nothing overhead but the blue sky and whole days in which to roam. For many, being free means movement, change, reordering. Give me the strength to be free. Often, to be free means the ability to deal with the realities of one's situation so as not to be overcome by them. It is the manifestation of a quality of being and living that results not only from understanding of one's situation, but also from wisdom in dealing with it. It takes no strength to give up, to accept shackles of circumstance so that they become shackles of soul, to shrug the shoulders in bland acquiescence. This is easy, but do not congratulate yourself that you have solved anything. In simple language, you have sold out, surrendered, given up. It takes strength to affirm the high prerogative of your spirit. And you will find that if you do, a host of invisible angels will wing to your defense, and the glory of the living God will envelop your surroundings, because in you, he has come into his own. I'd like to invite everybody to close their eyes this morning and to just be in this moment and to open your hearts to just receive. And remembering there is only the one. There's one spirit, one power, one energy in the universe, and that's God. And in the pattern of perfection that is God, God is strength, God is hope, God is wisdom, God is freedom. And as God is all these things and so much more, so am I, and so is everyone. We're all part of God. It can be no other way because there is only the one, and I and everybody else is part of it. And as I speak my word into the law, knowing it is done for the best and highest good, I solidly affirm these God qualities of freedom, of strength, of hope, of wisdom, of so much more. Anything unlike these God qualities, let it go back into the universe from where it came. And knowing and affirming that we can free our minds and be open and let go of any limiting human thoughts. And I allow myself to be, and I allow myself to breathe, I allow myself to know. And remembering that I and everyone else is a channel, is a conduit of source energy and all these qualities, and they can be pulled upon at any time. For we are eternal, always, forever. And I'm happy and I'm delighted knowing that we are eternal, ever-growing, eternal beings in the universe, forever and always. And so I send blessings and light to any peoples in the world struggling. I bless our own congregation, Reverend Dr. Sherry, all involved in this service today. And I bless what's going on in Russia, the Ukraine, knowing God's got this and God is in the midst of this. And I bless the perfect unfoldment of this service today, knowing everything said and heard here flows perfectly. And I give such great thanks for the immediate manifestation of this prayer, knowing it's already done in the mind of God, and release my word into the law that only says yes. And together we say, and so it is. And our musical inspiration, let's welcome Adam Smith.
Good morning to my CLF family. It's so nice to be here with you, sharing some songs today. Thanks for having me back. This is called A Better Tomorrow. The ones who were there ain't there. not anymore. No matter how much I stare, all I can see are stars and blue skies and a better tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be feeling fine. I'll be feeling fine. And the world keeps on spinning round. You know I'm spinning around too. Makes everything seem so still. So I'll try something new. Don't do a 180, do a 360. Don't do a 180. Count your blessings and take a deep breath. You'll be feeling fine. You'll be feeling fine. But tomorrow never comes. No, it's always today. And yesterday always seems so, so far away. And if tomorrow never comes, will I find a way to feel okay? Where will I find a way to feel fine? To feel fine. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, and darling, now sleep, sleep, sleep. Go to sleep.
Thank you so much, favorite friend, Adam Smith. We love that song. However, I'd just like to caution you, he didn't mean go to sleep now. Now's the time to stay awake. We're talking this month about new beginnings. And the excitement of new beginnings will keep you from going to sleep right now, because I'm excited about new beginnings. New beginnings, doing something new, starting from where we are right here, right now, and moving forward. We talked about being on the brink. We've of something new. We've also talked about breaking the cycle of what was. And so today I'd like to talk with you just a little bit about stepping boldly in a new direction. Stepping boldly in a new direction, not just stepping in a new direction, but stepping boldly in a new direction. Stepping boldly, meaning with confidence, willing to take risks, and willing to just move forward without concerns or cares or fears or whatever the case may be. But recognizing also that, as Hafiz says, a risk is only a risk if we're not taking God with us. And so we don't have to be concerned about taking risks when we are stepping boldly. We're just being confident that it's time to move in a new direction. And that is what we are doing. That's what I'm reminding you of today, that we are moving in a new direction. And taking a step in a new direction doesn't mean just stopping what you're doing or stopping where you are. It means that you really have to take a step in the new direction, in a new direction. If you're headed south, then you have to turn a different way to go west or a different way to go east, whatever the case may be. But when you're headed in a different way, you have to turn. If you're headed south, you're going to have to turn right to go west, or you have to turn left to go east. But you cannot just continue or just stop where you are. You just can't stop and say, well, I'm headed in a different direction, because that's not the way that works. I remember reading a quote from someone, I don't remember who it was. It said that a liar doesn't cease to be a liar when he stops lying. A liar ceases to be a liar when he stops lying and begins to tell the truth. That's heading in a new direction. Stops lying and begins to tell the truth. So if we're going headed in one direction, if we just stop, if we're headed south, or if we're headed north and we just stop, we're still headed north. We just stopped. So what we have to do to go in another direction is make a turn, do something different, head a totally different way. And so that's what I'm encouraging us to do today, is to head in a different direction. And, heading in a different direction means as Howard Thurman says, it means striking out on a path that's never been trod before. And he says it takes courage to strike out on a path that's never been trod before. And, a path that's never been trod before sometimes means that when we strike out a new direction, we're leaving people behind. We're leaving places behind. We're leaving situations behind. We're leaving the past behind. And sometimes that gets to be a little scary. Sometimes it does take courage to do that, because it means that everything is changing when we are heading in a new direction. But, once we decide to head in a new direction, then we are also making a decision to recognize and realize that every moment of our lives, each moment of the day, we have an opportunity to live the rest of our lives in a different way, to live the rest of our lives in the way we want, to have the kind of life we want for the rest of our lives. That's one of the beauties of heading in a new direction, and really being bold enough to do that. Being bold enough to say, I want a different life. I want a new life. I want my life to go in a different direction. Because, we are here because we have the mental equivalent of here. You are where you are because you have the mental equivalent of being where you are. We cannot have that for which we do not have a mental equivalent. And so if you want to go there, if you want your life to be there, then we have to have the mental equivalent of there, wherever there is. So whatever it is that you want, wherever it is you want to be, however it is you want your life to be, we have to have the mental equivalent of that. And so I'm encouraging you to really make the decision that you are really ready to move in a new direction, that you are really ready to step boldly into in a new direction, to really go for it, to really be willing to head in a new direction, so that you're beginning to have the kind of life that you really want, so that you're beginning to make every moment count, so you're beginning to make every day count, so that you're beginning to really make decisions that are for your highest and best, make choices that are for your highest and best, do things that you haven't done before, live your life in a way that you haven't lived your life before. And so that's what it means to head in a new direction, to really make the decision to go for it. And now's the time to go for it. Now's the time to go for whatever it is we want. Now's the time to head in the direction that we want to have more peace, to have more love, to have more joy, to have more laughter, to have more fun, to have more friends, to have whatever it is we want in our lives, to have more abundance, whatever that means to you, to have more prosperity, to have more health, whatever that means to you. That's what it means, that if you want more of that, you can't get it being right where you are right now. In order to get more, you got to do something different so that you have the mental equivalent of it. so that you be in a place and space where we can attract that in. And so just making sure that we are headed in the right direction. We're headed in a new direction. We're headed in a new direction. And I have to always just stop for a moment and ask, where is it that you want to go? Where is it that you want to be? What is it that you would like to have? What is it that you'd like to experience? Just asking yourself those questions. What would I like to experience in my life? And then, am I that? Am I that place and space through which that whatever that experience is? If it's more peace in my life, if it's more joy, if it's more harmony, if it's more money, if it's a better relationship, whatever the case may be, am I that? Am I that place and space through which what I desire can be expressed? Because it can only be expressed through us, according to our own consciousness. And so if I'm not, then I'm willing to head in a new direction. I'm willing to boldly, with confidence, step in a new direction. Step in a new direction. And we don't have to be, we don't have to analyze it. We don't have to analyze how we're going to get there. We don't have, because God is in the details. God already knows how you're going to get there. And whatever, all you have to do is make your decision where it is you want to go, what it is you want, what it is that you want, and then turn in that direction, walk in the direction of whatever it is you want. Walk in the direction of your desires. Walk in the direction of your prayers. Walk in the direction of your heart's desire. That's what heading in a new direction is all about, is walking in the direction of the thing that you desire. And so the things that I'd like to encourage you to do today, after I encourage you to take a breath here, is to starting out with keep on going, keep on stepping, keep on stepping. Keep on stepping in the direction of what it is you want. Don't don't analyze whether it is this is the place that you should be going. Why I haven't gotten there before? What kept me back in the past? We don't have to analyze it. There's an old science of mind saying that analysis equals paralysis. Analysis equals paralysis. Once we start analyzing, we're stuck in that place of analyzing and trying to figure it out. Keep on moving. Keep on moving, keep on moving, head in a new direction. And if you just got to analyze it while you're going in the new direction. Try to figure out why, whatever it was, but you don't have to sit still to analyze what happened, why you didn't get there. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? What could I have done better? Coulda, shoulda, wouldas. We don't have to get caught up in all that. You can just, just keep on stepping, keep on stepping. And sometimes, that sounds easier than it is, because fear can hold us back. It's pretty scary to head in a new direction, particularly when we think about leaving behind those things that are familiar, those things that are comfortable. It's pretty scary to do that. It can be that whole fear thing crops up. But, Gibran in the prophet says that fear keeps us from laughing all of our laughter and weeping all of our tears, because we aren't feeling anything fully. We aren't experiencing the fullness of life. It keeps us from laughing all of our laughter and weeping all of our tears. So that means that we aren't fully expressing. So being willing to keep on going, to keep on stepping. As I said, keep on stepping in the direction of what you want. Keep on stepping in the direction of your prayer work. Keep on stepping. Keep on stepping. Keep on moving forward. That is what we want to do. That is what we want to do always, to keep on stepping, keep on stepping. And even when it gets tough, because the going may get tough as we head in a new direction, because everything's new and we are dealing with new beginnings. And sometimes when the going gets tough, we feel like people talk about going through hell. It feels like going through hell. And as my teacher always said, just keep on going. Don't set up camp. When you feel like you're going through hell, just keep on going and move on through it. And move on through it, because there is a way through. But that's the only way we get to the other side of it, is by going through. By going through. And when we head in a new direction and the going gets a little rough and it feels like you're going through hell, fasten those spiritual seatbelts. Fasten those seatbelts. Hunker down. Hunker down in what we know to be true. Hunker down into that place where we know that the power and the presence of God is right where we are. Right where we are, always guiding, always directing, always right where we are. That from which we can never be separate. But the important thing is for us to keep on stepping, to keep on stepping, to keep on stepping, to make your commitment to yourself, to keep on stepping. And then the second thing I'd like you to do is to release the burden of perfectionism. Release the burden of perfectionism. Release the burden of perfectionism. Perfectionism is self-abuse of the highest order. Perfectionism is self-abuse of the highest order because we hold ourselves to such high standards, and we have to always be right. We have to always do everything perfectly. That is really, 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 really not good. Letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. Letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. That's not the way we want to go. We want to just be where we are and do the very best we can in any given moment of any given day. But recognizing that our idea of perfectionism, our idea of what's perfect is not the truth. It's not the truth. We are always required to do the very best that we can. And some days our best will be better than other days. Sometimes our best will be better than other times, because there are so many things, so many factors that go into the best that we can do in any given moment of any given day. But when we get into that place of having to be perfect, then we get into that place of we can't ever be wrong. We got to always be right. And then we start to blame other people so that we can be right. And all kinds of things, the kind of mushrooms, it just kind of mushrooms. And we don't want to get caught up in that. We don't want to be caught up in that. We want to just let go of the burden of perfectionism and recognize that it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not know. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fall off the wagon. It's okay to fall off the wagon, so long as we have the intention to get back on. We have the intention of continuing to move forward. We have the intention of, if I was heading in this direction, in one direction, and it wasn't working, then being willing to head in another direction, being willing to head in a new direction, being willing to step boldly in a new direction is what we have to do. And so just keeping in mind that we can make a change in our lives, and we can let that change be easy and effortless, or easier. It doesn't have to be that hard. It can be easier if we are willing to just allow ourselves, give ourselves a break, cut ourselves some slack, forgive ourselves for mistakes that we make, forgiving ourselves for mistakes that we make, forgiving ourselves for not always doing our best, forgiving ourselves for things that we did in the past, forgiving ourselves for whatever it is that we may be holding, taking a deep breath, fastening those seat belts, and then being willing to move forward, being willing to move forward, being willing to do the very best that we can in any given moment of any given day. That's what we want to do. That's where we want to be. And then the third thing we want to do is to be willing to surrender to the process. Surrender to the process, knowing that it is a process. Life is a process. Life itself is a process. And so as we go through these things that come up in our lives, we're going through a process. As we head in a new direction, as we start to step and walk in the direction of our prayer work, that's a process. Because we're used to oftentimes praying for one thing and going off totally in a different direction than it is from what we're praying for. Asking for one thing and looking in another direction, saying that we want one thing and doing another thing. We're used to doing all those things. And it's a process to make that change. It's a process to turn that ship around. It's a process to really move forward and to step in the direction of what it is we want, what it is we desire. It's a process to do that. And so I'm inviting you to recognize that it's a process and to surrender to the process, because to head in a new direction, to step in a new direction, takes not only courage, it takes faith. It takes faith, and it takes trust. Anytime the word surrender comes up, the word trust needs to be right there beside it. Anytime surrender comes up, the quality trust needs to be right there beside it. It needs to be right there with it, because in order to surrender, you got to trust. In order to take your hands off that bar that you've been holding on to and just let go like this, you got to trust. You got to be willing to trust. And your trust has to be in God, the only thing that's real, more than it's in anything else. Your trust has got to be in God more than anything else, because God is that is always with us. It is that power and that presence that can never leave us. It can never be separate from us. We can never be separate from it. It is that leads us, feeds us, guides us, and protects us. That's what God leads us, feeds us, guides us, and protects us. And then loves us too. And so, that whole idea of having to do this all by myself, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. The lead into the song I Release and Let Go is, there was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. Didn't know that the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. That's what we have to come to know, that the grace of God is sufficient. The love of God is at hand. God is always right where we are. Always available to guide us, direct us, to protect us, to lead us, to feed us. Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. God is always with us, always right where we are. Always right where we are. And so when we move into that place of trusting, as we surrender to the process, moving into that place of trusting and allowing God to be God in our lives, as our lives, then we can feel comfortable moving in that new direction, stepping in that new direction, and stepping boldly into it, stepping boldly into a new direction. And that's what we want to do, to be bold about it. Now's the time to be bold in our lives. Now's, we have had 2 years of being at home, 2 years of living differently, 2 years of being insular, 2 years of being isolated for some of us, 2 years of being, everything being different, everything being unknown in a way that things have been unknown in the past. It's different now. And so for us to be in a place where we are maybe coming out of that whole 2-year period of being isolated, where are we going to go now? Where do you want to go from here? How do you want to go from here? When do you want to go from here? Asking yourself the question, what do you want your life to look like now? Because we have the opportunity to make that decision. What do I want my life to look like now? What do I want my life to feel like now? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How do I want to live? How do I want to feel? These are all questions for us to ask ourselves. What kind of work do I want to do? What kind of fun do I want to have? What kind of friends do I want to have? What kind of friend do I want to be? What kind of a partner do I want to be? Whatever the case may be. These are all questions for us to ask as we move forward in this stepping in a new direction. Because we're already, the new direction is laid out before us. The path is already laid out before us. We don't have to walk it alone. We don't have to walk it alone. And so as we get into the point of surrendering to the process and trusting God, knowing that we don't have to walk it alone, then in order for us to be in that place where we can really trust, we have to be in that place where we know God. We have to be in that place where we know God, and we know God by practicing the presence of God. We know God by returning to God over and over and over again. We know God by opening our minds and opening our hearts and opening our entire being and really engaging in our regular spiritual practice, meditating every day, praying every day. And reading every day, journaling every day, whatever your spiritual practice is, engaging in it every day, so that we are in that place where we are always feeling our oneness, always really knowing for certain that God is always God, no matter what our emotional storm may be. No matter what our personal situation may be, God is always God. And it's so long as we are at one with that allness and that fullness that is God, it expresses in and through and as our lives. And the healing happens in our lives in ways that we cannot even imagine. So I'm inviting you, step boldly in a new direction. Step boldly in a new direction. And if you're not sure what that direction is, trust God to guide you. Trust God to show you. Ask. Ask. Let that be a part of your prayer work. Let that be a part of what you have practitioners praying for you about. If you're not sure, God is always available to guide us, to direct us. And those answers that we need come to us through us. They also come from practitioners. They also come from situations, circumstances. We're always getting the answers. And the more available we are as a result of our spiritual practice, the more guidance, the more aware we are of the guidance that we are always receiving, of the guidance that is always right where we are. And so I invite you to really, really, really be bold. This is the time. Cheryl was talking about the big, bold vision that she will be taking us through in the new foundations class. Be bold, because that's a new direction also. Looking at the big, bold vision for your life. So be bold in being willing to step in that new direction. Taking that foundations class is a part of the new direction also, heading in a new direction, because CLF is stepping into a new direction. And we all are stepping in a new direction, and we want to step in a new direction together as a community, boldly. That's exciting, to be bold about it, to be confident about it, to be willing to just be in a situation where there are no holds barred, just saying yes. And that's what no holds barred means, to just say yes. Just say yes. And that's what surrendering is all about. Just say yes. And so I'm inviting you, just say yes to boldly stepping in a new direction, and watch your life take off in ways that you cannot even imagine. You cannot even begin to imagine. That's why it's important to keep those seatbelts fastened and just say yes. And so I invite you now to let's just turn within. Let's just take a deep breath together. As we turn within in this moment, just knowing and sensing and feeling God's presence right here, right now, just knowing that the opportunity to move in a new direction comes from just knowing that power and that presence that is God is right here, right now, right where we are. Right where we are, that power and that presence, that is the only power and that presence, that is the only presence, the only mind, the only life, the only activity is my very life. It is my life. It is that from which I can never be separate. From which I can never be separate. It is always, always right where I am. This is a truth that I know, and this is a truth that I know for each and every person, each and every situation, each and every circumstance, that God is in the midst of everything. And so I speak the word for all of us this day, just speaking a word of boldness to walk in a new direction, to the boldness and the courage to walk in the direction of our prayer work, the boldness and the courage to live a new life, to live our best lives. I'm speaking that word for each one of us, just knowing that as we release and let go of the fear and the doubt and the anxiety and the what ifs and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, as we let go of all that, then we create a space for the allness and the fullness of God to express in and through and as our very lives in ways that we cannot even imagine. Healing is happening in our lives. Healing is happening in body temples. Healing is happening in our bodies of affairs. Healing is happening in relationships. Healing is happening in our financial affairs. All needs are being met in each and every moment of each and every day, because God is in the midst of everything. God shows up in every life, and whatever it is that may be needed at any given time. How grateful I am to know this truth. How grateful I am to know this truth. How grateful I am to know this truth. And so I know that as we walk forward from this place, God has gone before each one of us making straight our way. God has gone before each one of us making straight our way in ways that we can't even know, that we can't even imagine. We just open up and just trust. Trust God to be God, knowing that God is always being God. And we trust God to be God and allow God to be God in each of our lives. And know that all things are made new as we move forward with new beginnings. And so as I pause momentarily in this circle of prayer, I will pause for you to speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer this day. You may speak their name silently or loud, and you may speak them now. So for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is in the midst of everything. God is where each one is, blessing and keeping them. This prayer goes out to anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day. Anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day, knowing that God is in the midst of every situation, every circumstance, every event, no matter what we call it, no matter what the appearance may be, God is in the midst of everything. And I always pray for our government officials, just knowing that decisions that are being made on in the consciousness of that which is for the highest and best for all, that there's unity, for God unifies everything and everyone. And any appearance of separation, any appearance of divisiveness just falls away, is healed. This is the word that I speak. This is the truth that I know, for I know that God is. That's all I need to know, is that God is. And so I just simply say, thank you, Father, Mother God, for the blessings of our lives. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for everything. I know that all is well. I know that all is God. I simply allow it to be, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Sherry, for those words today of encouragement and truth. Now is the time that we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and offerings. CLF is a tithing church, and we invite you to join us in this sacred practice by tithing here at CLF. You can click on the donate link in our website or on the comments in Zoom and on Facebook. You can also use your smartphone to text to give. However you choose to give, we truly appreciate your continued financial support of CLF. And now let's repeat our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God, and so it is. And now let's welcome back Adam Smith with our offering song.
Another story is ending, another one begins. Down this road I travel, this moment I am in. Say goodbye to those we knew along the way. What's left to hold on to in this changing landscape? Hey, I turn to the horizon, my face towards the wind. A brand new day is dawning and I'm going deep within. I can feel it getting stronger, this power that I hold. Gonna find what waits for me there down this empty road. And that's alright, I don't mind. What I believe I will leave behind. I'm on my way, nothing's ever gonna stay the same. Letting go of what isn't mine. No more turmoil, struggle, or strife. Tell myself somehow everything's gonna be alright. This is my time. ask myself these questions. Just what is this life for? Just what is this hunger inside I can't ignore? Oh, no. You know, I've spent my lifetime searching, but still I have this need. This lesson is worth learning as long as I'm feeling a little more free, feeling a little more free. That's alright, 'cause I don't mind what I believe I will leave behind. I'm on my way, nothing's ever gonna stay the same. I know letting go of what isn't mine. No more turmoil, struggle, or strife. Tell myself somehow everything's gonna be alright. And I know for sure everything's gonna be alright, alright. 'Cause this is my time, I proclaim it. This is my time.
Thank you so much, Adam Smith. Yes, this is our time. This is our time. Thank you, Adam. Let's just take a deep breath. I have a couple of reminders for us this morning. Don't forget, community visioning is today at 11:30. I'd love to see you all there as we come together to vision for God's vision for Creative Living Fellowship, just knowing that it is a divine idea in the mind of God. And we just want to know how God wants to show up as Creative Living Fellowship. And we are opening ourselves to be available for it to be revealed to and through us. There will be no fellowship today, as Nicole announced. So we'll join you for fellowship next Sunday. The Monday practice with Reverend Jorge is happening tomorrow evening, Monday evening from 6:30 to 7. Don't forget that this is a wonderful, wonderful time and a wonderful addition to your regular spiritual practice is working with Reverend Jorge on Monday evenings. And then, of course, we have Tuesday evening connection meeting, and that happens every Tuesday evening. This week, we are engaging in conscious conversation. We'd love to have you join us there because we've been having some really deep conversations and really great connections in the community connection meetings. And of course, Foundation starts on Thursday evening this week, Foundations for Successful Living. And we are so looking forward to that. I've said that before. I'm excited about it. I look forward to having you all join us for that with Cheryl McCreary also. And did I say the Zoom prayer room is open after service, immediately after service? Did I say that? Okay, then I won't repeat myself. Just want you to know that you can get prayer anytime from the practitioners with the on-call list, and also emailing practitioners at prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. I bet I didn't say use the treatment for supply. And just in case I didn't, I'm reminding you, use the treatment for supply. It really works. And I encourage you, that's our community prayer. We use it all the time. So let's use the treatment for supply twice a day, every day. And most importantly, connect with each other. Emails, phone calls, snail mail, however it is we connect with each other, it's important that we do stay connected. We are a community and we are really concerned and connected. It's concerned about connecting with each other. I can say this. And so I'm inviting you to do that. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you soon, sooner than you think. And so meanwhile, take good care of yourselves. God bless. Here's our closing song, our release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life and my heart